You're in my domain, got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane, it's over before you know it. While you shaking, we're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty, now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine, we live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome here as we continue on Season 6 of the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series. Continuing on our chase towards the chase for the championship as we begin round number 2 here this evening at the dirt track of Oswego Raceway. 60 laps on tap here tonight. We started out the playoffs with 17 drivers competing for the championship, but when the checkered flag waved last week at Indianapolis, 5 drivers were eliminated from the playoffs, and now we'll have to look towards next season to try and capture championship gold. It leaves us with 12 drivers still in the hunt for this title. They include the following: Tim Walch, J Fitzwater, C Sandfer, B Allan, D McIntosh, Trent Dunham, the defending champion, along with J Arndt, Benjamin Miles, R Reynolds, D Voyles, J Baskinger, and Anthony McCrury. The drivers that got eliminated last week included Alex Drayden, Benny Watson, K Shearer, B Gonzales, and Joshua Collard. So now they're just trying to finish out the season, maybe with as many trips to victory lane as they can possibly muster. 60 laps of racing here tonight, as I stated. More than likely, these drivers will not have to pit, so it just comes down to who's got good starting track position and who can capitalize on that good starting track position. These drivers are going to be beginning one of, I think, the hardest rounds of the playoffs. Tonight we're at a dirt track. Next week we go to a road course at Lime Rock, and then we finish out the round eliminating 4 more drivers at the Super Speedway of Madrid. So we go dirt track, road course, Super Speedway, 3 entirely different racetracks, which is why I kind of think this is one of the toughest rounds of the playoffs. And of course, these drivers trying to get themselves into the Elite 8. If one of our playoff contenders go to victory lane tonight, they have an automatic ticket into the round of 8, regardless of what happens in the next 2 weeks. So you got to bet that's definitely on the minds of a number of the drivers starting up here towards the front, like Trent Dunham, D McIntosh, J Fitzwater, J Baskinger, C Sandfer, and B Allan. Those 5 all starting inside the top 5 for tonight's event. On the front row, we've got a couple of drivers looking for their first win of the season. Kat Batson, who right now has the longest running winless streak at 119 races coming into this race, trying to find her first trip to victory lane since Season 3, when she won at both Infineon and then later on that year at Watkins Glen. Also trying to get Lincoln Continental their second win, as Keith Batson was the first to do so last year when he took the checkered flag in his first career win at Kansas. Alongside of her, though, is D Guilbert. He's the only driver out of Michael Norman Motorsports yet to go to victory lane this season. Last win came last year at Indianapolis when he was in the playoffs. He's not in the playoffs this year, and he's still chasing his first victory of the season. Maybe with the starting track position these two drivers have, maybe one of them will find victory lane here in tonight's event. Let's go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports here tonight.
Drivers, start your engines!
Of course, last week was definitely an exciting finish as we saw Tim Walch in a must-win situation go to victory lane, which moved him on to the round of 12. And as a result of winning during that round, he has 3 bonus points coming into this round of the playoffs. So the playoff standings right now is basically Tim Walch with a 3-point advantage over everybody else. Fitzwater, Sandfer, Allan, McIntosh, Dunham, Arndt, Miles, Reynolds, Voyles, Baskinger, and McCrury. This track's very small, 0.625 miles in length. So it's not going to take them very long to complete laps here, but it's a dirt track, so we'll have to see who's going to be able to get their car wound up on the bottom, which is definitely the fastest way around. around the track as the green flag is in the air. Round number 2 of the playoffs is underway. Let's roll. Capping off this weekend that started at Oswego with the Tax Slayer Truck Series race, which went green flag from start to finish, but was not without incident. So the last thing that any of these playoff drivers want to do is start off this second round with a DNF. We saw the predicament that Tim Walsh was in last week at Indianapolis after starting off the playoffs round 1 with a 40th and 42nd place finish. He was basically in a must-win situation and was able to do it in Indianapolis, but none of these drivers want to head into Madrid in a must-win situation, at least for our remaining 12 playoff drivers. Kat Batson out front. Last time that she went to victory lane, she won under the name of Kat Tellier. Of course, now recently married to Keith Batson. Change of the last name, but it would actually be the first time she'd go to victory lane as Kat Batson. Daniel Gilbert slots into second. Trent Dunham, now the highest running playoff driver, as he's in third. And right behind him, the rookie Benny Watson, who was one of the 5 recently eliminated from the playoffs, just trying to finish out the season as best he can now. The one thing that drivers did when they made the playoffs, though, is they completed a goal that they probably set for themselves, and that's to keep their charter for next season. To make the playoffs, you're going to keep your charter, because the lowest you can finish in the point standings is 17th. Trent Dunham's running in third. Next highest running playoff contender. It's actually a battle back here between Benjamin Miles and Dallas McIntosh, and that's for 8th place. Miles will take the spot. McIntosh slipping back. We ended up having Oswego debut back in Season 3 of Hersheys Cup Series competition. 2 former winners of the event are in this field here tonight. Season 3 winner, the inaugural winner, was Dallas McIntosh. You see him right there in the 14. Season 5, it was actually Joshua Michaels who went to victory lane. Michaels now retired from the Hersheys Cup Series, and our defending winner of this race, J Baskinger, who is also a playoff contender here this season. Joseph Srigley makes the move to the inside of Trent Dunham, so he'll put his Tim Hortons Ford Fusion into the 3rd position. Now Trent under fire from a couple of rookies, Ben Watson and Gordon Anderson, a couple of former Pizza Hut X Series champions. Trying to hang on to that 10th position. He's now under fire from another playoff contender, 59 of Zachary Fitzwater. Let's drop back to that battle, as that looks like it might be the best battle on the track. Fitzwater trying to clear the 14 to break into the top 10. Right behind him, rookie Shane Lake in the 55, and then another playoff contender in Season 1 champion Anthony McCrury. We are getting close to completing 10 laps in this race. Like I said, it doesn't take them very long to get around this racetrack. But 60 laps is a pretty good amount of time for a driver to be able to work their way from the back to the front, like I said, especially if they're able to get their car wound up on that inside line, which Benny Watson's trying to do right now, as he will complete the pass for 4th on Trent Dunham. Trent's lost 2 spots in the last few laps, and he might lose another one, as here comes Benjamin Miles. This would actually be a battle for highest running playoff driver on track, as it's currently a battle for the 5th position between Miles and Dunham. Excuse me. Gordon Anderson right there in the 89. He and Shane Lake, we've documented this week in, week out. The only 2 rookies yet to go to victory lane. Lake is starting to make his way up towards the top 10 there in the 55 as well. Meanwhile, up front, single file formation amongst the top trio. It's Lincoln, Chevy Camaro, and Ford Fusion, the top 3. Kat Batson still showing the way. Gilbert in second, and Joseph Srigley appears to be really fast. He's closing in on Daniel Gilbert. We saw him make the pass for 3rd on Trent Dunham, and now he's closing in on that 4 car. We're only about 15 laps in, but let's take a look and see who the fastest cars on the track currently are. And right now, Manuel Hartnett is the fastest car on track with a 20.2 lap time. K Mathews, Jordan Anderson, Sean Gallighan, and Benny Watson. That would be your top 5. Srigley is 7th fastest right now. And Benjamin Miles is up to the 5th position. He's 9th fastest, just now clocked in at the 6th fastest lap time. pass for second as we were looking at that. Srigley, and on a mission, he's gotten around Daniel Gilbert. Now he sets his sights on the 70 of Kat Batson. Joseph Srigley also on a bit of a winless streak, even though he did not race last year in the Hersheys Cup Series. If I recall correctly, it's Season 3 the last time he went to Victory Lane 2, and if I recall correctly, he won back-to-back races in Season 3, at the time driving the number 24 car. Double check on that. As Zachary Fitzwater has now cracked the top 10. There he is, behind Emmanuel Hartnett. Hartnett, who has 2 career wins in the Hersheys Cup Series at dirt tracks. So not a surprise to see him running well here. Fitzwater trying to get to the inside of him. This would be a battle for 8th place right now. They have Ciculli scored in 10th, but I believe he's dropped back. Yeah, now Shane Lake is up in the top 10. Gallighan trying to break into the top 10 as well. Looks like McIntosh has finally slotted into the line there, but back somewhere around the 13th, 14th position. And there's the other former winner of this event right behind him, J Baskinger. So our 2 former winners are up inside the top 15. Question is, can they get up to the front? Come up here, see if any battle's going on, and not really. However, the 21 is closing in on the 70. As we're a third of the way through this race. Before we end up seeing this battle brew, though, amongst these 2 drivers, let's take a look towards the rear of the field, see if any playoff drivers are struggling here in this race. And there are a couple of them back here. There's R Reynolds in the 69, who ironically, his first career win that got him into the playoffs was at our last dirt track stop at Springfield. Or I'm sorry, it was Springfield. Way back here, and now going to the inside of Brooke Allan in the 3, just ahead of him, 0.5 of J Arndt. So there are a few drivers back here that are not running well. Playoff contenders, Arndt, Reynolds, and Allan. Next furthest back playoff driver looked like it was the 0.3 of Charles Sandfer. There he is. Not too far ahead, Daniel Voyles and our points leader, T Walch. Now, the way things stand, it would be Sandfer, Allan, Reynolds, and Arndt, who would find themselves in the danger zone heading into next week's race at Lime Rock. Battle between teammates. This would be for 6th place, Jordan Anderson and Zachary Fitzwater. Fitzwater's got a good car on that inside line, it looks like, but Anderson getting better corner exit with the high side. Now we got a battle for 3rd place. Eddie Watson to the inside of Daniel Gilbert. Not a surprise to see Watson doing well here. Watson very good at the off-road racing. Ran well back at the Baja 1000. If I recall correctly, I think he ran well at 4. Wow. Oh, something's wrong. Something's wrong with the 4 car. Right in front of the field, he's coming to a stop, and oh boy, they got to get around him safely. Is he out of fuel? Something's really amiss on his car, and he just got nailed by Blaine Keys, and caution is out. Elijah Gilbert was caught up in that as well. First caution of the evening. Wow, Elijah Gilbert's got a lot of damage. Blaine Keys as well. Boy, he just completely clobbered the 4. And I don't know what Kat Batson's doing. She just ran to the back of Kyle Keith. The heck was the 70 thinking? She's got to let these guys by. All the leaders were kind of flying into this, and I don't know why. I don't know, where's the pace car? Were they trying to catch up to the pace car? There's Gilbert on pit road. Something went wrong on his number 4. Looks like he's getting his service completed, and now the leaders have caught up here to pace car, but I question the damage possibly on the front end of the 70 when she ran into the back of drivers that were on the tail end of the lead lap trying to get themselves around the pace car here. But as Batson paces us under caution, let's take a look and see what happened to Daniel Gilbert. That was really odd. And we pretty much saw this live, too. Watch as they come down here into the entrance of Turn 3. Watch Benny Watson in the 24, how he has to really check up, because the 4 car just seems to lose power going down here into Turn 3. Watch right here. Watch how the gap closes up so quickly. You'd think the 24 had dive-bombed Gilbert, but no, he hadn't. And you'll notice at some point here, you're going to see Gilbert swerve his car from side to side, which makes me wonder if there was a fuel problem, where he was trying to get fuel into the intake area. Boy, Zachary Fitzwater got held up there, and he lost a few spots as a result of that. Fortunately, he didn't run over the 4 car. And then watch everybody. Apparently, they all realize it. They all go high and low. But then watch when the 4 does his swerving back and forth. I think that's what's going to cause the issue here for Blaine Keys. Watch. Wow, Daniel Voyles nearly got involved. Oh, there you see right there. Yeah, Blaine Keys just stayed in the middle lane. Didn't go low, didn't go high. And then he gets nailed from behind by Elijah Gilbert. Dylan Poteet was involved, along with Kyle Keith, and it looked like J Arndt might have also gotten a piece of that. I don't know if Jessica Shelton was in it or not. She might have been able to slow down in time. But the reason I think that it could have been a fuel issue for the 4 is because he's actually back out on track again. Which is, so it makes things really, really bizarre. But he's got damage now, so does Gilbert, so does Kyle Keith, and Dylan Poteet, and a few others. And that brings out the caution for the first time here tonight at Oswego. Let's go back for the green flag. Well, we haven't gotten the 1 to green signal yet, but we will be past the halfway point, right at the halfway point, when the leader crosses the line this next time by. 2 drivers at this point have officially declared themselves out of the race. They are Elijah Gilbert and Blaine Keys. We've got Daniel Gilbert down 2 laps. J Arndt is currently 1 lap down, and with it being more than 10 laps to go, you can see the 4 car dives to the inside, so leader Kat Batson will have to deal with lap traffic on the inside line here for the first time here tonight, and that could be very well a difference maker into whether Kat's going to hold on to the race lead or not. And of course, we've got to keep tabs as well on what that front end damage might be doing to that Lincoln Continental once we go back green. It'll be Batson with the lead, Srigley second, Watson's third, Anderson fourth, Miles in fifth, Trent Dunham is sixth. The rest of your top 10 are Sean Gallighan, Emmanuel Hartnett, Shane Lake, and Kyle Mathews. The green flag is set to go back in the air. We're back underway here at Oswego. Hanging on that inside line, but Batson gets the nice run off the corner, and she will clear the lap traffic. Now Joseph Srigley's got to try and do the same. Looks like he clears. Benny Watson's trying to do it now. And Srigley, well, I guess he's not quite yet clear on Daniel Gilbert. Now he is. Top 2 clear of the lap cars, and now Benny Watson in third has to try and do it as it's really wadded him up further back here. Jordan Anderson making a move 3 wide under the lap car of J Arndt. Sean Gallighan following in his tire tracks. They picked up some spots on Benny Watson and Trent Dunham. And now they've got themselves the inside line of Daniel Gilbert. So it looks like most of these lead lap cars will be able to clear the rest of the slower traffic. Meanwhile, up at the front, Srigley still keeping tabs with Kat Batson. Benny Watson right there looking to become the first rookie to go to victory lane 3 times in a single season. Right now, Joshua Collard, Benny Watson, and Matt Haas all hold the record for most wins by a rookie in a single season with 2. Srigley looks like he's a little bit better than Kat Batson. He can hold it down a little lower in the corner. But at the same time, when he's lower in the corner on entry, Batson on the higher groove on exit gets a better run off. So right now, they're basically kind of mirroring each other in terms of lap times. One gets a better entry, one gets a better exit, and they basically stay at status quo. And apparently it looks like the contact that Kat Batson made with the cars that were on the tail end of the lead lap, we had that little bit of a stack up there under that caution, has not affected her in any way. It's kind of a holds true thing when you think about dirt tracks too. You don't have to have the prettiest car on the track to have it still be up to speed. Best battle right now is for 4th place. Jordan Anderson to the inside of Sean Gallighan, looking for that spot. Galligan's going to hang on for the moment though. Anderson not giving up, gets to the left rear quarter panel and will pull back alongside out of the exit of turn number 2 down into 3. Now we mentioned that Kat Tellier hasn't won since Watkins Glen Season 3. Joseph Srigley has not won since Zen Joltis of Season 3. However, Srigley, we have to remember, did not race last year in the Hersheys Cup Series. And Batson has raced since Season 3, so Batson has a much longer winless streak than Srigley does. And Srigley's win at Zen Joltis was about 10 weeks after Kat Batson's win at Watkins Glen. Well, Srigley taking a look. Can he get to the left rear quarter panel? If he does, it'll be the first lead change of the evening, and he is there. Kat Batson trying to hang on, trying to close the deal. She's led every lap so far, but she will not lead that lap. As by a splitter, Srigley will take the top spot. Now he tries to clear Kat Batson off turn number 2, and he will. That opens up the door down low now for Benny Watson to go for 2nd place. So our first lead change comes with about 20 laps to go. Srigley now out in front. Batson now caught on that high line. Got to find a way to slot back in line, but right now has Benny Watson to her inside. Gallighan and Anderson closing in as well. Benjamin Miles, at this point in time, in a very good position. Highest running playoff driver in the 6th position. The only other playoff driver I believe that's in the top 10 is Fitzwater, and he's currently in 8th place. Trent Dunham is faded back. Now back in 12th, McIntosh in 13th, 15th Baskinger. Right now in 18th would be Anthony McCrury. And there's the points leader Tim Walsh, who just now is making his way by the lap car of D Guilbert. Now we know that John Arndt is a lap down, so he's going to be in a bit of a pickle heading into our next 2 races at Lime Rock and Madrid. Boy, Sean Gallighan, I think, just moved Kat Batson out of the way. Yes, he'll move to 4th place. So we know John Arndt is probably going to be in one of the danger zone 4 slots heading into Lime Rock. Question is, who's going to be joining him at this point? Like Reynolds, Allan. And right now, looks like it would be Daniel Voyles. Would be the 4 that would be in the danger zone heading into Lime Rock. Poteet off the pace, was involved in that wreck. He's hitting the start-finish line now. Leaders are about to hit the start-finish line now. They will catch that 31 car before this race is over, I do believe. And that could be bad news for Joseph Srigley, depending on where they encounter him. Battle on for 3rd, Sean Gallighan. Looking for the spot. A while since Sean Gallighan's gone to victory lane. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the last time Sean Gallighan found victory lane was Darlington of last year. The internet's moving rather slowly, so it's taking a while for each web page to come up as I'm trying to check these statistics. There you see Poteet, they are closing the gap. And next time by, it'll be 10 laps to go. Dylan Poteet in that 31 could very well play a factor into the outcome of this race. Ford, Chevy, and then a battle between a Lincoln and a Toyota for 5th place. Emmanuel Hartnett trying to get to the inside of Kat Batson. Now, I still think that this is just the fact that probably the handling has gone away on that 70 car. I don't think that the fact that Kat Batson is falling back the way she is has anything to do with the damage that she may have sustained after getting to the back of the driver. We had that stack up under yellow. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Srigley closing in on Poteet. Poteet's holding the low line. He's not giving Srigley a lane to pass him. Going to try and get to the inside here, going into 3. He succeeds, and at the same time, Sean Gallighan gets to the inside of Benny Watson. for second place. Gallighan's got a fast race car here in the closing stages. If he can get by Watson and Poteet, I think he might have something for Srigley. And wow, look at the exit he got off turn number 2 there. He's right on the back bumper, Srigley. He might go to the inside here in 3. He's looking. Boy, that 44 is flying. Gallighan trying to take the lead from Joseph Srigley. So far this season, every Seth Kohlbaker Motorsports car has gone to victory lane with the exception of Gallighan. McCrury did it at Phoenix. Baker did it in one of the dual races at DuQuoin, and Gilbert did it a few weeks ago at Chicagoland. And Gallighan clears for the top position. It was indeed last year in the Mountain Dew Southern 500 that Sean Gallighan went to victory lane in that throwback Hot Wheels scheme, if you recall. And now he's out in front leading this race, and there'll be 5 to go next time by. Srigley, though, has had a fast car. Does he have a fast enough car to catch back up to the 44 of Gallighan? Now, I think Poteet was the only car that was really way off the pace, and I don't think they'll be encountering any more lap traffic. John Arndt there in the 05, he's exiting turn 4 now. Leaders are entering turn 3, but it's going to be 4 laps to go when they hit the line, so I don't think they'll catch John Arndt before the checkers. And Gallighan's beginning to put some daylight between himself and Joseph Srigley. Gallighan's had the 4th fastest lap of the day, so he's obviously had a very fast race car, and boy, it kind of sprung to life there when we went back green on that restart. Srigley trying to reel him in. Last time by was about 0.3 of a second separation. It remains about the same. Srigley trying to drive it deeper there into turn 1 to close the gap, and may have lost a little bit on corner exit. Anderson and Watson, great run for those rookies. They're third or fourth, making 3rd and 4th rather. Hartnett there in 5th. They might catch John Arndt. I don't know. 2 laps to go. Benjamin Miles and Zachary Fitzwater, they're going to have good points days for the playoffs in their quest to make it into the Elite 8. And they are closing on John Arndt. They will see the white flag. Gallighan hoping he doesn't catch that 05 before they get back to the checkers, but he very well might. They're closing that gap very, very quickly. He may catch him at the start-finish line. Down the back straightaway, still about 2 car lengths in hand. Sean Gallighan through 3 and 4, trying to complete the sweep for Seth Kohlbaker Motorsports. He will do it. Sean Gallighan wins here tonight at Oswego. First win of the season. It comes at race 30 of the year. And Sean Gallighan gets his first win of season 6. He comes into this race 21st in points. That's technically 4th highest of the drivers that didn't make it into the playoffs. Oh, and there you go. A little. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. He just spun it and then just got flipped over by second place driver Joseph Srigley. What the heck was that? That's definitely unusual burnout. Okay then. I don't think that was tempers flaring. I think that was, I don't know if that was a congratulatory bump or what, but Gallighan might be a little loopy in victory lane with the blood rushing to his head. Anyway, Gallighan with the win. And let's not forget, Sean Gallighan, I think, restarted back in 5th, 6th place and was able to fight his way up to the race win there on that last restart with about 50% of the race remaining. That was an amazing job on the part of Gallighan. And he basically used the Dylan Poteet slower car as a pick to be able to do that as well. So Sean Gallighan showing off his stuff here tonight. Srigley's going to have to settle for 2nd place, though. Tough break for him as he's still trying to find victory lane for the first time this season. Jordan Anderson, Benny Watson, great runs for both of those rookies. And Manuel Hartnett, solid outing in the 5th position. James McCloud, didn't really talk about him today, but he popped up in the top 10 with about 15 laps to go and fought his way up to 6th. Benjamin Miles will get the highest running playoff contender finish in 7th. Zachary Fitzwater right behind him in 8th. Kat Batson was the dominating car early on, but she faded back there on that last restart to finish in 9th, and Shane Lake will bring it home in the top 10. Where'd the rest of our playoff contenders finish? Only 2 of them finished in the top 10. It was Trent Dunham in 12th, Baskinger in 14th, Dallas McIntosh 17th, Anthony McCrury in 18th. Tim Walsh in 22nd place. Daniel Voyles was 25th. Charles Sandfer fell back to 27th in the closing stages. Brooke Allen was 32nd. R Reynolds in 33rd. And of course, J Arndt had early issues getting involved in our only caution, and he finished a lap down in 39th. So right now, the 4 drivers that would be in the 4 danger zone slots heading into Lime Rock would be Sandfer, Allan, Reynolds, and J Arndt. But a lot can happen in the upcoming 2 races, the road course of Lime Rock, the Super Speedway of Madrid, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But Sean Gallighan gets his first win of the season here tonight at Oswego. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and compare with the crew today. We've shown you full finish results. These are your rookie point stands and your overall point stands, as well as your playoff points heading into next week's race. Next week, it's going to be, I believe, just the Hersheys Cup Series drivers that are going to be at the road course of Lime Rock, and then the following week, you'll see all 3 series at the Super Speedway of Madrid making its debut on the schedule. So, going to have back-to-back Hersheys Cup Series races again for you guys as we finish off Oswego here and we go into Lime Rock next week. So till then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Race at its best. We'll see you guys next week at Lime Rock Raceway.